Egghead Island is right now shaping up to be one of the best arcs in the entire story of the series. Honestly, it could be in the top 5. Come name it all. Even though it's just the beginning of the final saga of One Piece, this could be in the top 5 best arcs in all of One Piece. However, that doesn't mean it's perfect, not even close. There is no such thing as a perfect arc, and this arc does have some problems. Like, for example, for me personally, I have an issue with skipping the Seraphim section. I do not like the fact that we skipped that whole section. That, to this day, does irk me. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, other folks, and I've seen before time and time, when it comes to my streams, when it comes to my videos, I do see folks sometimes complain about the lack of tension. And I did see a post recently on Twitter about this by a cat named Leo. So Leo says, I still feel like Oda messed up with Egghead's tension. The fact that we got 5 of the elders here and none of them feel like a threat is disturbing. Now, the tension issue I remember seeing before, not with Rob Lucci, because Rob Lucci was like at the very beginning of the arc, but then later on with the Seraphim, with the, of course, the Buster Call, where it's like, hold on now, the Straw Hats are a Yonko caliber crew. Are we really supposed to fear what's a Buster Call? Are you serious? No shot. And then, of course, Kizaru comes in, and then later on, now we have an issue with the tension involving the elders. So in many cases, I would say folks have been complaining about the tension of the arc. And my immediate response, because, you know, it's Twitter, whatever. My immediate response was essentially, well, lol, the reason why is because the elders, they're not the same threat level like Big Mom and Kaido in the last arc. To me, in terms of tension, Big Mom and Kaido had it. Oh, they absolutely had it. But the elders, even now, not so much, not even close. However, that was me kind of just spewing things off the cuff because, why not? Again, Twitter, not a big deal. Sometimes you just kind of throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Like one of those odd paintings that people just throw buckets of paint at a white board and somehow it sells for tens of millions. What am I doing with my life? Oh my God. Jesus. Well, let's just dive a little bit deeper, Michael Phelps style. Is the lack of tension the biggest issue with the Egghead Island arc? And let's tackle this in 5 points, in 5 sections. So section number 1. A lot of folks, I think, ill-advisedly compare this arc to Wano Country because Wano Country just ended, therefore it's recent in our minds. And I would agree where, yeah, compared to Wano Country, this arc doesn't have the same scale, the same sense of danger. And outside of the 2 phenoms, Big Mom and Kaido, which, yes, everyone knows I'm an Emperor fanboy, I'm an Emperor wanker, it is what it is. It's not my fault, Oda made them, but I digress. The key thing people have to remember is that Wano Country is the final arc of the saga. There are several arcs of build-up to Wano Country, starting all the way to Punk Hazard, arguably even Fishman Island, where we first see Big Mom's flag at the candy factory and Luffy is talking to Big Mom. So in comparison, Egghead Island is the Fishman Island or the Punk Hazard of the saga. It's like comparing the starter to the anchor in a relay race. No, don't do that. Compare starter to starter, anchor to anchor. And the anchor of the final saga is the last arc of the story, essentially. And what's important to recognize too is that for most of the Yonko saga, we've seen how the Straw Hats have been getting invested into the plight of other characters like Momonosuke, like Kinemon, Raizo, Kanjiro, though to be fair, Kanjiro was a traitor, but you can see how the Straw Hats were getting more and more invested with the plight of the samurai and Kinemon, Momonosuke, and company. Think about how excited Luffy was and then how distraught he became when he was hearing Kinemon tell the story of the Chad of Wano, Oden. Think about how the Straw Hat crew split apart during Dressrosa, and for a long time the crew was divided. Dofi's connection to Caesar Clown, thereby to Kaido with the Smile production. Big Mom trying to assimilate Germa into her fold, which involved Sanji. At the end of Zou, even though it never happened, hearing things like Frankie say, I'm going to make weapons against Kaido, or Zoro say, I'm gonna lead samurai. These are all a part of the buildup and the stride investment. Therefore, going into Wano Country, the tension would be much higher off the rip because we were at the finish line of the saga. So compared to Punk Hazard or Fishman Island, yo, yeah, the tension in this arc is much higher, tremendously higher than those 2 arcs. That's point number 1. Point number 2, I'm gonna say it again, why not? Kaido, Big Mom, clear. They just clear. The elders are impressive fighters, way more than I thought they'd be, I'm not gonna lie to you. But at the same time, they're, as far as I can tell, not on the caliber of people like Big Mom or Kaido. Right now, the best thing going for them has been their immortality factor. And that's just the facts. Their abilities are damn dope, and they do have very strong haki, which again is surprising. But then outside of Jay hitting Luffy one time with an eye laser attack of some kind, and then Luffy hurting his hand on the tough hide of the Fang Shi that is Warcry, the damage Luffy has taken from them has been extremely minimal. And Dory and Brogy have been putting on a show against them. Putting on a show! And to be fair, I believe that Dory and Brogy are a lot stronger than folks give them credit for. However, they're not Admiral level people. Nah, I love Dory and I love Brogy, but absolutely are they not Admiral level fighters. And to try and get some degree of a sense of scale here, keep in mind that when we see this giant iron robot, this thing is a few times bigger than the giants Dory and Brogy, likely similar to the size of an Oars ancient giant, or the number giants that we see on Onigashima. That iron giant could likely fit in one of the floors of Onigashima, and Kaido was levitating the whole island casually. Kaido was on Egghead Island. He would carry that thing around easily, the entire island. Be like, Lilin, look, hey, Lilin, oi, Lilin, oi. That'd be Kaido. Meanwhile, the impenetrable Frontier Dome that they couldn't penetrate because of the lasers around it, Big Mom would power her way through that thing and kick some serious ass. The iron balloon built different for a reason. Damage? Probably. But for her, minimal? Absolutely. If Monkey D. Luffy can run up there in Gear 5 after Kizaru sends him packing through it one time in Snake Man, Big Mom, who I think is more durable than Gear 5 Luffy. Oh, bro. Big Mom gonna power through mama. And that's just it. When it comes to speed, endurance, durability, attack power, DC, I mean, Kaido could probably destroy the island, the entire island itself, in a blast breath or 3. Big Mom could probably change the entire climate for the island, the surrounding seas, just like that, and rain non-stop lightning bolts. Oh my God, bro. We've seen what they could do in Wano Country, and these people are insane. They're insane. And yes, the elders, they do get credit. With the technique that he's using right now, Warcry may have an actual tougher body than Kaido, because even Luffy's hurting his hand against Warcry's skin. But at the same time, without that movie got Sun Scaldia'd by Dory and Brogy. The Straw Hat crew were doing a number on Jay Garcia Saturn. Jay couldn't even hurt Chopper. I was like, wait, what the hell? Chopper was taking attacks from Jay Garcia. It was, whoa. So the elders, they do get love for sure, but they have man, the things they have to show to be on the level of like Kaido and Big Mom, they're so far from that at this point in time. It is what it is. Big Mom and Kaido, in my personal opinion, were just much higher than the elders. So another reason why the elders cannot exude the same level of tension as, let's say, the emperors in the previous arc. Now, point number 3 as to why the tension in this arc is not as high, even though there's 5 elders in the area, is because of themes and expectations. Those two things right there. I thought, had a very clear theme between Luffy, Kid, and Law, where Luffy, Kid, and Law all have the same bounty, the same 3 billion berry bounty. However, Law and Kid, they lost. Law to Blackbeard, and Kid and his crew got decimated. They got demolished by Shanks and the Red Air Pirates and Dory and Brogy. Actually, I'm sorry. It was just Shanks and Dory and Brogy, not his crew. And then Blackbeard and the boys do a pretty damn good job. However, Beppo is swimming like Rayleigh across a whole ocean with Law on his back. Law and company, they lose. Kid and company, they lose. But based on the themes, would Luffy also lose too? No. Luffy would succeed where Law and Kid fail. At the end of the damn day, Luffy and his crew are going to be what? They are going to be the Pirate King's crew. They are going to succeed where every other person has failed. And it's even backed up by the idea later on in the arc where the narration tells us, the readers, that the events of Egghead Island are going to lead to a shocking, stunning global event across the world. The world at large is going to be shook to its core because of what happens on Egghead Island. And it's happening as we speak with Vegapunk's message. So with the narration and the themes, it was very, very likely that the Straw Hats were not gonna be in the same situation as Law and Kid's crew. And on top of that, even though we do have 5 elders here, I always have to remind cats what happened in chapter 1044. When Luffy first goes into Gear 5 and we see the actual form, the elders would rather make Kaido angry, mad, and sacrifice one of their best agents, Guernica, to prevent the Gum Gum Fruit from awakening. The elders feared the Gum Gum Fruit awakening. They fear the Nika ability. So even though we have 5 elders, why would I expect the elders to really, honestly, truly be massive, genuine mega threats to Luffy when they themselves fear the Nika ability? Luffy, I think, has a long way to go when it comes to mastering his powers with Gear 5. I believe that the Gear 5 bag is a lot deeper, a tremendous amount deeper than many cats would realize. And somewhere in that bag, he's gonna pull out the tool that's gonna cause imminent fear in the elders. And then seeing now in real time that the elders, I mean, bro, barely any damage to Luffy at all. No. The tension that the elders have when it comes to Luffy in this arc, no. With other crew members, fair enough, fine. But remember, there's something important that's going on right now, and this ties into point number 4. The Straw Hats' objective in Wano Country was to defeat some of the biggest players in the world, ally with enemy pirate crews with Law and Kid, and obviously save Wano Country from its current situation. Now, in this arc, here comes number 4, the Straw Hats have to run away. That also lessens the tension because the onus of what needs to be done is not on the same scale as defeating emperors. It's we have to just leave the island, skedaddle, and save as many Vegapunks as possible so we can bring them to Elbaf. That is the MO. And they are a Emperor, a Yonko caliber crew, so they are far from scrubs. Frankie literally decimated a Vice Admiral, someone that would be one of the main combatants for the Whitebeard allied forces to fight against during Marineford. Frankie one-shotted a Vice Admiral. Even someone like Rob Lucci, who has gone through training over the past 2 years, he falls very short to someone like Luffy, who just crip walks on him, gives him a 3-piece McNugget meal, and that's a wrap, folks. No sauce, no dry chicken. Oof. Nah. The Straw Hats' credentials are so high. They are overqualified for this job beyond belief. So believing that they can't escape? Can't? Nah. The absolute utmost confidence in the Straw Hats being able to escape, for sure. The sense of danger was not gonna be that high compared to, let's say, what we're gonna see come the final sections of the final saga. Oh yeah, that's gonna be crazy high tension there. But right now, even though we have 5 elders, again, we have to just run away. And then this ties also to number 5, what we were told by the narration, where we knew there was going to be a global event that was going to shock the world as a result of Egghead Island. And like we said before in point number 3, this meant that the Straw Hats were likely going to be successful. They were going to win, unlike where Law and Kid were going to lose. But what has to happen by default if the Straw Hats win? The Marines were going to lose. The elders are so shook, they're trying to focus and get the Mother Flame, save Punk Records, but they have to keep on doing a real-time cost-benefit analysis because they have to destroy these Denden Mushis and then prevent Vegapunk's message from spreading across the entire world. The panic is setting in. We know they're going to lose. In fact, you know what? You can argue they've already lost because the world found out the name of Joy Boy. What? The world government is losing. The world government is on the back foot. It's the world government that is taking the massive major L. Even though they got the Seraphim and they got the Mother Flame, blah, blah, the world is gonna find out some heavy truths that they didn't want the world finding out. On top of that, Kizaru got thrown into a pizza and got obliterated. On top of that, the Super Buster call came and it failed to take out the Strat crew. On top of that, the Giants of Elbaf came back and started stunting on us. Whoa. So the Marines, the world government, they are the ones destined to take the massive L in this arc, not the Straw Hats. So circling all the way back to Leo's comments about how he feels like Oda has messed up the tension in this arc, I would say no, but more likely people, including himself, well, I guess maybe themselves, because nowadays you never know. People probably expected the tension of this arc would be similar to that of Wano Country, even when the 5 is pulled up. But I think that Oda's doing actually a pretty good job with the tension, because we can understand that the MOs for this arc are very different than, let's say, the past arc in Wano Country. And given the themes, given the power levels, and so on and so forth, I would say that Oda has kind of accurately depicted the tension that Luffy and the crew and the readers should have during this arc. By no measure should this arc, in terms of the tension, be on the same level as that of Wano Country. No. So, on that note, let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. Be sure to rate the video, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side.
See you. Bye bye.